In this tutorial, I will show you how to create a picture description. To do this, we go to Create New on the home screen and then tap on New Picture Description. A picture description works like this. You take an image, and then your language helper describes in the target language what can be seen in the picture. While doing this, they always mark the area in the image they are currently describing. However, it is also possible to create a picture description without any markings. This means the language helper simply tells a story or reads a book, and you can look at the corresponding images while listening. If this is your first time here, I strongly recommend tapping the question mark in the top right corner. This will take you to the Help menu. There you will find many tips, and you can see how this screen works and how picture descriptions work. Be sure to read it at the beginning. First, you need to add an image. You can use your phone's camera to take a picture of your surroundings, or, for example, take a photo of a page from a book. You can also import an image directly from your phone or choose one from the internal library. These images are fully available offline. We will select an image from the library for now. To do this, tap the button, and now we look in the Picture Descriptions folder for a nice image. We will simply take the image with the elephant. We select it by tapping on it. Now I will tap the Record button, which starts the audio recording and allows me to mark areas on the image. I will mark 3 areas. First, the elephant in the center, then the tree trunk on the left, and finally, the 2 parrots sitting on the branch on the right. It is very important that I always start by marking on the image first, by painting over the area like with a brush. As soon as I start painting, I can begin speaking. You never should start speaking before painting. It is important that you do not lift my finger while marking one area. So my language helper begins by painting over the elephant, and as soon as she starts, she'll say, "The elephant is standing in the middle," in German, since my target language is German. She have to completely paint over the elephant without lifting the finger. This is very important so that the exercises will work well later. After she marked the elephant and recorded the text, she can start marking the tree trunk on the left and say, "The tree trunk is on the left side," and so on. One tip is to turn your phone into landscape mode before recording. This way, during the recording, the image is displayed full screen and is much larger, making it easier to mark the areas. Just try it out. It just goes into full screen after you pressed the Record button.
In der Mitte steht ein Elefant. Links sieht man einen Baumstamm. Rechts sitzen 2 Papageien auf einem Ast.
Now we have marked all areas and recorded the audio. With the button on the left, you can normalize the audio if you want, but we will leave it as it is for now. With the button Edit Audio and Markings, I can adjust the markings. If we tap this button, I can delete entire areas. For example, if I select Marking 1 and tap Delete Area, the whole area will be removed. If I go to the Brush section at the top, I can extend or reduce the markings. For example, if Marking 1 is not perfect yet, I can select it and tap Edit. Now I can choose Add to expand the marking or Remove to reduce it. This allows me to precisely adjust the marked area afterward if I want. Then I simply tap Done. In the Crop section, I can cut the audio and markings. For example, if there's a long pause at the beginning without audio or markings, I can trim that part. It is important to note that depending on how much you cut, if there are markings, they will also be removed accordingly. You can find this note at the bottom. We will not do this now because the recording is fine as it is, so we go back and discard the changes. Once the picture description is ready, we only need to add keywords. In the GPA concept, it is intended that you work through picture books with your language helper. For each page, a photo is taken at the beginning, and then the language helper explains that page. This is exactly what the picture description is designed for. To practice picture descriptions effectively, you should assign keywords as follows. At the beginning, I would always use the title of the image or book, for example, Book 1. As the next keyword, I would use the page number, for example, Page 4. This way, you can later sort the picture descriptions alphabetically and practice them in order. So we enter, for example, Book 1, Page 4, and then tap the plus button to add the keywords. If I tap this button, I can see Categories. A category consists of keywords that have been used at least twice. This helps me see which categories I already have. Now everything is ready and we can save the picture description. To do this, simply tap Save. If we now tap the Overview button, we can see all our existing picture descriptions and practice or listen to them. One more important function, especially when working through books with your language helper, is that you can also add multiple images to one picture description. For example, if you have worked through an entire book page by page, the GPA concept encourages the language helper to tell the whole story once without pauses. This is also possible in a picture description because you can add multiple images. To do this, simply tap the icon in the top left corner. Then you can select multiple images from your phone, take multiple photos with the camera, or add several images from the library. However, it is important to note that if you include multiple images, it is not possible to mark areas on them, as that would not make sense. This function is intended only when the language helper tells a full story, and you, as the learner, want to view the corresponding images when you practice. You can see how this looks in the tutorial about the picture description exercise. Feel free also to check out the other tutorials to understand it better and try things out yourself. You can do nothing wrong, but you can explore a lot. And especially, read the help texts behind the question mark at the top. Enjoy creating picture descriptions and learning languages with the GPA Flashcards app.